First of all, guys, how are you finding the event?
It's a very enjoyable event. The key thing here is that we're talking to the right audience of service providers, and that's who we want to meet, and they're here.
It is a very focused audience, isn't it, Rami? And I know you were one of the keynote speakers earlier on, and the service provider community is incredibly important to Mitel, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have a very high focus for the service providers from as Mitel's perspective. We've actually changed some of the markets where service providers are operating in, particularly in the Nordics, with our innovative cloud telepo product portfolio. So this is a focal point for Mitel.
So the theme of this year's event has been innovation, and as Rami said, we've heard a lot about it this morning in terms of your innovation, in terms of the mobile application.
Yeah. Well, mobility is everything. If you think about the modern consumer, typically they're mobile. We heard in Rami's keynote speech today, 80% of the workforce don't even have a desk anymore. So mobility in the business space as well as the consumer space is absolutely everything. And what we're talking about at this particular show is a platform that enables service providers to provide that mobility in the cloud, amongst other benefits.
And Rami, from a Mitel perspective, where does the balance fall in terms of innovation? We've talked about this morning as well in some of the discussion panels. Where does the balance fall between what you expect service providers to be able to innovate and differentiate their offerings, but also the innovations that you need to bring to them as a big company like Mitel?
Well, I see it as a joint effort, to be honest. This is something, it's like a pull-push, right? So, and we're in it together because this is like an industry challenge. No one company can solve this or address this on its own. We have to collaborate around the innovation. What I covered earlier on were two areas of, if you like, innovation. I covered how Mitel has almost like reinvented itself in the cloud era, and how we brought cloud services.
And you're not ashamed to admit that at all, are you?
No, absolutely. We're very open because what we've experienced in the market presented a challenge, but also a huge opportunity for us to capitalize on. The other area where I touched on in my presentation was also what's happening, what we're looking at in the collaboration space, for example. And a lot of collaboration tools out there, point solutions, and including ourselves, our own products from a collaboration standpoint. We feel that there's the bunch of needs that remain unmet in those with those technologies. So we talked about meetings, for example. The journey of a meeting, what happens before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. How is that captured in the new collaboration tools? Currently, it isn't. So here you go. That's an area for innovation.
Yeah, and Colin, on that collaboration point, we've seen in the past service providers and in general be within one specific area, whether that's voice or whether, as Rami was talking, that's meetings or whether collaboration. But we're seeing that homogenise now, and you at Mitel, you're able to provide a lot more of that portfolio to potential customers, aren't you?
We are, and one of the key things we do is provide a framework that service providers can then use to build their own over-the-top applications, for example, or to integrate with other technologies that the customer wants. So that's a very key point. Flexibility is very important, and that what we're talking about at this show with our Mitel Cloud Telepo solution is a very, very flexible platform. So yes, it's beneficial to us because we want to sell more of that, but it's also beneficial to the service providers because it enables them to do things like over-the-top apps and to have a flexible platform that they can take to market as well.
I can probably add on that. So as a vendor, our responsibility is to bring to the table the pulse of the market to the service providers, because if you think about it, we are a market leader in the enterprise telephony space. So we've got huge market intelligence of what's going on in terms of customer requirements, demand, trends, and how they consume our products in the market. So we bring all of that knowledge to the table when we are engaging with our service provider customers. But then the onus is on us also to deliver rich APIs that enables those service providers to actually build these solutions and integrate them into our platforms.
So what have you got on show here at the stand today?
Yeah, so in addition to our MyCloud Telepo, which is an offering towards service providers, we've got our own UCaaS offering, which is a global retail proposition in the UCaaS space aimed at mid-market. And it's really working with our channel partners, so the enterprise channel partners in an agency go-to-market model to fulfill this to the mid-market.
And there's been a big demand for that, hasn't there, within the industry? And as it said, it's something, as Rami said, it's something you've had to develop to cater for that requirement.
Absolutely. It's common sense and well known. The market data says that the market is moving towards cloud at a rapid rate. So that's what customers want. 80%, most customers that we're talking to at the moment, in terms of end users, when they're talking about replacing their telecoms, are looking at cloud first. So it's an important change in the industry, and one that we have responded to, but also one that we're driving. Because at the moment we're number 2 in the world in UCaaS. Our objective is to get to number 1, and we're driving hard towards that.
And we're disrupting the market with this proposition. This is a retail offering that enables the, if you like, the SME mid-market segment to take the benefits of cloud. It's an off-the-shelf product, web-based, simplicity driving, customer satisfaction, and we've built the back office in terms of managing the customer journey by Mitel, all the way from customer acquisition to onboarding, activation, customer success, where you focus on things like expansion and renewals. So that is what I referred to earlier as the factory, goes hand in hand with our UCaaS Connect offering.